Welcome back, everybody, to 31 1990s horror movies for Halloween. What am I doing? Oh yes, counting down my favorite horror movies from the 1990s. I told you I was going to get loopy here, so here we go. So today at number 14, we have one of the most beautiful looking movies that I've ever seen. And it's a bit of an odd one here, but it's odd in the best possible way. So at number 14, we have Santa Sangre.
Get her!
Santa Sangre, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that, and I know I'm butchering it if I apologize, but the English translation is Holy Blood. This movie is directed by Alejandro Jodorowsky. This is the same guy who produced El Topo. So yeah, he's known for making some movies that are kind of out there. And I was debating on putting this one on the list because I've seen it say that it was released in 1990, and I've seen it say it was released in 1989. I looked into it. It came out in America in 1990, so I'm including it in the 90s here. Because I really want to talk about this movie. I absolutely love this movie. This is one of those films that I can see it making it higher on the list as the years go on. Because it's so good. This, like I said, this is a very different movie. It's a Spanish horror movie, but it has English dialogue. It's so pretty looking. It's such a unique story, and it's just a fascinating film to watch. This is one of those movies that you have to watch more than once. Once you watch it the first time, you want to watch it again just to see if you missed anything. It opens in this mental institution with this guy who is acting like a bird, and then after this scene we flash back to when he was a kid, and he was part of a circus. Like the first thing we see is him riding on top of this elephant dressed up as a magician. His father is this big guy who's a knife thrower, who's also a bit of a womanizer. He sleeps around with different women, and his mother is I guess an acrobat, trapeze artist sort of person, but she's also the leader of this cult. They have this church where they worship this woman that they've deemed a saint. She had her arms cut off and was brutally raped, so they made her a saint. I don't want to spoil too much, but he eventually witnesses his father die and his mother get her arms cut off. I don't want to spoil too much here, but... And then it flashes back to the present time in this movie where he's in the mental institution. He eventually breaks out and reunites with his mother, who has no arms. And he basically becomes her arms. She wants him to be her arms, so his arms are essentially her arms because she doesn't have any arms anymore. But she also has certain vendettas against people that she uses him to execute.
Did you hear her? She wants me to kill you with my hands.
Like, she uses him to murder people. You know, he starts getting close to other women, but she doesn't want him to get close to other women, so she makes him murder those women. And again, he is there to be her arms, and it's not in the way that you would think it is. Like, she doesn't just do stuff for her, but she insists that he stand behind her so that his arms are in front of her, and she does things with his arms as if they're her arms. Like, there's this really bizarre but wonderful scene where she's playing the piano with his arms. He's sitting behind her and playing the piano, again, like his arms are her arms.
No grace, no style. You've got to move my fingers more elegantly.
And I don't want to give away too much more than that, because this movie is so original. And what frustrates me is I hear so many people say that they want original ideas. They're wondering, where are the original ideas? Where are the original movies? Because, you know, big budget movie studios have been making multiverses and cinematic universes and stuff, making sequels and remakes and all this other stuff, that there hasn't been a lot of originality recently. But that's the whole thing. I mean, that's what a lot of people have been spending their money on recently, and that's the thing. If you spend your money on the same old thing over and over and over again, you're going to get the same thing over and over and over again until audience eventually get tired of that. They stop spending money on that, and so hopefully then money will be used somewhere else to make other movies. But yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, you know, people want original ideas. See Santa Sangre, because this is a very original movie. You want originality? Here's Santa Sangre. Watch it. It's an original idea.
Without me, you are nothing. No one sees you, and no one notices you.
And as I said earlier, the movie is gorgeous. This is such a beautiful looking film. It was produced by Claudio Argento, the brother of Dario Argento, who got together with the director and they made this film. And there are a lot of scenes in here that are Argento-esque, not, I don't want to say necessarily in their execution, but in their look. The colors in this movie feel like a Giallo movie at certain points. There are definitely some scenes, especially one scene in particular, that feels very Suspiria-esque. But it feels Suspiria-esque while being its own thing at the same time. I mean, it's very interesting. So yeah, it's a Spanish movie that has some feeling of an Argento film, but at the same time not. You can tell that this is its own original movie. Many scenes have really stuck out to me. One in particular, when this elephant, it's closer to the beginning of the film, this elephant is dying. And it's an elephant that our main character is very close to as a kid. Hell, we saw him riding on top of this elephant at the beginning of the movie. So he starts grieving and he's kneeling down saying, "Don't die, please don't die." And then there's this great shot where other members of the circus surround this elephant as it's dying, and they start playing music for the elephant, like they're serenading it as it's passing away. And we just get this overhead shot that slowly starts zooming out, and it lingers on it for quite a while. Modern movies don't linger anymore, and I miss movies that weren't afraid to linger, just rest on a shot and let the audience take in that shot. But this was an amazing scene, and it got to me. And I don't want to say much more than that. I could go on for a very long time about Santa Sangre, and I hope to do that again in a later video, but this is a ranking series, so I cannot recommend Santa Sangre enough. I don't know if everyone will like it, but it is a movie that I think everybody should watch at least once, whether you're a horror fan or not a horror fan. If you just want a good movie, check out Santa Sangre. This is a movie that I can definitely see getting higher on my list as the years go by. I wouldn't be surprised of it eventually making it into the top 10. Yeah, Santa Sangre. An amazing, beautiful movie. I highly recommend checking it out. But just be prepared for something unique and kind of weird, but in a good way.